Welcome back to class. I am super glad that you have made out time out of your busy schedule to pay attention to this training. It means a lot to me, and that is why I am highly committed to seeing how I can help ignite within the hearts of everybody that takes out time to go through these very trainings, the desire to be more, do more, and have more. So today is a continuation of what we started in the last training we had, how to ignite your voice. Our primary focus will be on storytelling and the dynamics to it and how you can use it to your advantage. So I can tell you for a fact, you're at the right place at the right time, about to access the right information. But as always, I want to beg you, this training is not going to be a dialogue where I'm just the one speaking and you're not engaging. It's going to be a monologue. So it's 50-50. You take one step, I take the other step. That is the only way you are able to get the juice out of this training. If not, it will just be you wasting your time here. And I wouldn't want you to waste your time paying attention to me. So previously, we mentioned the fact of how important it is to be an impactful speaker. We highlighted the audience connection formula. They did a lot of practical with that, full body sport as well. We had the assignment done, a lot of practice attached to it, and how to work side by side fear. So if you missed out from it, I want to beg you, please go back to that training because it will form a foundation for what we're about to discuss. If you actually went through that training and you didn't do the assignment, I beg you do the assignment. But now we are here today, so pay rapt attention. There are three kinds of communications which every single individual is supposed to master for you to live an effective, efficient, and better life. The first is the communication to self, what you tell yourself. A lot of people, what they tell themselves, if another person were to tell them that same thing, they would not speak to that person. They will pick offense as against that person. So, what are you telling yourself? What you tell yourself will form what you would tell others. So, the first communication has to be communication with self. Are you intentionally telling yourself, I'm good enough? It is possible. We can handle this. Or are you telling yourself negative things? Are you telling yourself negative things? Because it is what you sow within that will get to see outside. So, second kind of communication is communication with others. You see, it is the communication with others that will bring money to you, that will bring the right relationships to you, that will bring the husband you seek, that will bring the wife you seek, that will make you a better parent to raise your child, that will give you the right job you need. So the communication to others is very, very key. But more importantly, we have moved to a higher dimension now when it comes to communication with others, having to be how we communicate with artificial intelligence. So if you're not good with communicating with artificial intelligence, you cannot generate the results that you desire. Because when the result comes, you cannot question the result because you don't even know how to communicate with AI. So somebody might use AI because the person is good with communication. The person will generate a far different result from you using AI. And finally, communication with God. So these are three kinds of communication: yourself, others, and then God, right? Who is our anchor. So I'm not going to go, into the depth of all of this and how you can attain it, but what I'll tell you for free, for you to improve your communication, you must intentionally begin to read books that have good English, watch videos that will improve the wordings, but more importantly, any information you are consuming, always grab a notepad, your writing materials close by, so that you can extract vital information that you can begin to apply into your own life and how you communicate. So you read more, what you watch, listen to people that have good command of English to build yourself up. So let's talk about the myth of the matter, storytelling. You see, storytelling is the single most powerful tool you can use to spice up your presentation. If anybody has ever spoken and you say boring, boring, it's because there was no element of storytelling. It helps you connect with your audience, inspire action, and be remembered years after your presentation. So you get to leave the stage, but you're still in the hearts of the people that are listening to you. That's the power of storytelling. Your story is your unique soul message. It cannot be stolen. So the story you have is different from the story I have. Everybody has a different story. This is the very reason why I said you cannot hold back and say, oh, my kind of person, this. No, because you are the only person that can deliver your own type of message. It's your unique soul message. There's only one Joseph in the Bible. There's only one David in the Bible. There's only one Jesus in the Bible. There's only one Moses in the Bible. There's only one Nkechi, one Ada, one John, one Peter, one Eze, one Tinubu, one Buhari, one Gaddafi. Just one. And they all have their unique soul message. And my assignment today is to show you how you can share your unique soul message and use it in business, use it in parenting, use it to send the message, use it to state a point. Use it to command attention. Use it to be impactful. Use it to command influence. If only you stay at the very end of this training. The stories are so powerful that they can appear anywhere in your presentation and still give value. They can come in the beginning, they can come in the middle, they can come at the end. You can use them at any point in time. Big data shows that people that have been very impactful in presentations, very impactful in sales, have generated quite a number of sales in business is tied to the story that they share. Children will tell you when they're now adults, the reason my life is shaped like this is because daddy told me this story, mommy told me this story. You see, the reason we have some nations, they are nations that are feared. And the reason some nations look like weaklings is because of the story that that nation has put together for us to embrace. And the reason some nations look weak is because of the story they have allowed other nations tell on their behalf. So why am I saying this? You either take charge to tell your own story or somebody else will take charge to tell your own story. And guess what? When somebody is doing it on your behalf, well, don't expect to receive the best as regards to the output. Yeah, that's the very reason why we have people writing autobiographies and biographies. This is this version and this is this version. So stories are very important because they shape the outcome of whatever is being put together. So something might look bad, but if the story is shaped, what is bad now becomes good. And what is good, if the story is not shaped well, it will become bad. So you're faced with having this amazing idea, but if you don't know how to piece together a story within it, it's not going to sell. A quote states that, tell me a story and I'll forget, but show me and I'll remember. Tell me a story and I'll forget. Show me a story and I am going to remember. Let me break it down. To tell a story is simply just to state a fact, state a point. That's what it means to tell a story. It's not deep. It's just straight to the point. It's like a straight line. You draw a straight line from point A to point B. Option one, point A to point B. That is you telling me a story. You showing me a story. You're moving from point A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8, A9, A10, and then point B. So all those middle adventures is what brings out the element for me to show you a story or for you to show me a story. Because in showing a story, you begin to add details, you begin to add emotions, you begin to take your listeners with you on an adventure. You speak from your heart and not your head. You begin to play with their emotions, their imaginations. That is what it means to show a story. So even though Nkechi was not there with you, she can see with her mind. She can experience it. She can feel what you felt. That is what it means to show a story. I'm going to give you an example. Tell a story example. John, my brother, visited me yesterday. And it was quite an experience. We had a memorable time together, brought back old experiences, and then he left this morning. That's the story. You see, it's flat. How do we show that same story? Let me bring it home. I had a knock on the door. It was already late, so I was a little bit bothered. Who actually would be knocking at this point in time? So I stood up, went to the door. I asked, who's there? Nobody responded. Had a knock again, and then I opened the door. Lo and behold, this fine gentleman who the last time I saw was 15 years ago, my elder brother, was right outside. And it's been a while we connected. Immediately I opened up the door, he walked in, and with joy in my heart, I asked, what are you doing here? He said, well, he's on vacation, so he thought to stop by. And I said, okay, fine, feel at home. And we relaxed. We had moments shared together. We drank. And I looked at him and I could recall moments when we were young, when we would play in the sands. And now here we are, him being a well established businessman, myself as well being well established, myself as well being well established. And he popped the news that he would be getting married in the next few months. I was so happy for him. Story one and story two. One story, the person told you the story, the other, the person showed you the story. So you can see yourself in that moment as if you were in the house with us, going through that process. Why? Because I am showing you, I am not telling you. So a lot of people know how to tell a story, but they can't show a story. Showing the story is me bringing you into the picture. And you can easily forget a story that you were told, but it is difficult to forget a story that you were shown. If if we're on the same page, just type in yes, yes, yes in the comment section. Right? Just give me yes, yes, yes in the comment section. So this is key. Why? Because you want to leave the stage, or you want to leave that environment, or you want to leave that conversation being somebody that has imprinted a mark in the heart of your listener. It's very key, right? So it's very key. Now, there are two ways to show a story. There's a journey technique and there's the valley technique. There's a journey technique and there's the valley. There are other techniques, right? There's the hero technique. There are a lot of techniques. Some would have 12 sequence, some will have 7 sequence, some will have 5 sequence. But I just had to highlight these two because these are the two that I have used personally and it has worked for me excellently well. I'm not saying others are not working, but then these are two of the most simplest technique anybody can attempt, even you listening to me, and you would see results. You would notice that this thing is actually working. So it's two of the basic ways you can use to show a story and share your unique soul message. Let's start with the journey technique. Now I've used the journey technique in sales back to back to back to back to back. I've stretched it to share my unique soul message in 1 hour, in 45 minutes, in 30 minutes, in 15 minutes, in 5 minutes, in 2 minutes, in 1 minute. Yeah. So I'm saying this because there's no time frame as regards to no specific time frame to okay, this is how you must do it. It just depends on your audience and the time you're giving, you know how exactly you can balance it up. Or maybe you're buying time for somebody, or depending on what you're trying to do as regards to you sharing your message to inspire, to move an audience, to make a sale, to send a message across, to get people to take action. It just depends. But this is a sequence, your background, pain, discovery, and result. Background, pain, discovery, and result. As easy as that. Okay, so you can write it down or take a screenshot. Your background, your pain, discovery, and result. So let me break it down. Your background is where you are or where you were at that moment. Your background is your past, and your pain is what you did not like about that past. And your discovery is what you found out that would stop the pain from happening. And result is I started doing this and this is the improvement. So the pain is no longer there. Say it again. Background is a specific period of time. Pain is the experience you are having as regards to that period of time. Discovery is what you found out that will solve the pain. And result is the improvement upon engaging in that discovery that you found out. That is the journey technique. So you're taking us on, in music, we call it crescendo. You're taking us to a rising. So let's add flesh to this. Right, let's add flesh to this. Please write it down and then you do your practice. Exactly 10 years ago, as a fashion designer starting my journey, I could see myself evolving and becoming the next big thing in Abuja. But there was a challenge. In as much as my primary focus was making clothes for the male gender, I noticed I was stuck at the point where I could not scale my business. Every single time I try, I just go up and then I come down. I go up and I come down. Financially, I was pegged at the level. I started feeling as if I was doing something wrong, but everything was perfect. I checked the system, I checked the structures, every single thing was in place. Business was okay, but it wasn't okay. I could feel it in my heart. And it wasn't as if we were losing money. No, we were making money, but it was difficult for us to transition to the next level. And then while taking a scroll on social media, I came across a content on how you can scale your business on social media. I was a little bit skeptical because when it has to do with some things online, you just have to be careful. So I clicked on it. I started reading the information and seeing that there were other entrepreneurs that had the same challenge I was having. I said, okay, this is making sense. And I decided, even though I was skeptical, to take a chance at this course on how to scale your business using social media. And in going through the course in a space of 90 days, I was able to three times my initial result I was getting. I'm excited because right about now, I and my team, we have decided to implement, we have decided to go all in with the strategy that was given, and we are on track towards 10xing our current result. I'm saying this because a lot of persons, where they are is not where they want to be. But you see, for things to change, you have to change. And for things to get better, you have to get better. It's not always an easy process, but you just have to start the process. Now, let's say I am a career person and I want to use my unique soul message to sell the idea of somebody being a part of financial literacy guide. So let's look at it. Background. I worked as a civil servant for over a decade. I had to pause and look at myself carefully and ask what exactly is happening. Why so? Because every time money comes, before you know it, there's nothing left to show that I am actually working, that I'm actually productive. And it was painful seeing the fact that bills were piling up, responsibilities were piling up, but the income was not commensurate as regards to handling all of this put together. I was frustrated. At some point, I was no longer feeling like a man because I would find myself moving from Peter's house to Paul's house, asking for assistance, and it kept happening over and over and over again. But you see, I had to tell myself enough is enough. I picked up a book and I started reading. The book titled Think and Grow Rich. And to paraphrase a portion of the book, it states, for things to change, you have to change. And for things to get better, you have to get better. So I started a quest to seeing how I would improve my finances. And he shared a pathway that if you want to improve it, whatever you're doing, find somebody that has improved on it and model that person. So I started searching online, looking for avenues for me to start doing something new that will improve my finances. And I found a financial literacy guide, somebody that had been in my position before and did certain things to improve his own position. And I said, this is it. But the challenge was that I didn't have the resources. I couldn't afford it. As at then, it was way expensive. But you see, when there's a will, there is always a way. So I had to go outside my comfort zone, secure the resources, and participated in the financial literacy guide. I'm excited today. Why? Because the person I was before is not the person I am today. The simple information and the framework I got from the financial literacy guide, I've been able to implement it. And even though I am earning the same amount I was earning before, I now live a better life, a healthier life. And I'm saying this not to motivate you, not to inspire you, no, but to show you that it is possible that if you're at the point of pain or a point of frustration financially, you can actually make the right decision by getting the financial literacy guide. That's a unique soul message. So it shows you a journey where somebody was in pain, at a position in pain, and the person followed some sequential process, and the person arrived at a destination. And the joy of it is that you now see yourself in that same position where you too are able to relate and say, okay, if it happened like this to this person, there is a probability it will happen like that for me as well, right? So that's the journey technique. You can take it, rehearse, find a way. It doesn't, the joy of this is that it doesn't have to be just one story. Because when people see this, they're looking at, okay, so how do I start from my background where I was born in Maiduguri, and then my primary school, my secondary school, my university, da 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 da. No, that's too much, right? That's too much. You can pick out moments, and then use that to lay this framework to get your story. It doesn't have to be everything. If you put in everything, it's going to be too much. There's a way you can do it to balance it, but just starting out, just bring out key moments and then you link it up together and you share your message. Remember, you're trying to state a point, you're trying to inspire somebody, you're trying to imprint within somebody your message. That's what you're trying to do. I could as well have said, okay, there was a financial literacy course I participated in and it changed my finances. Go and get it. That's one angle to it. I could as well have said, okay, as a fashion designer, um, I look as a fashion designer, what changed me is that I decided to get the social media scale your business course, and I just followed through the instruction there and fast forward everything. But the details, moving from 3 times, going to 10x, the story of pain, being stuck, frustrated, not knowing what to do, going left and right to start begging for money, all of that is the orishi in this story. And it is very important for me to show you the story. Okay, so this is the journey technique. Ensure you write it down and use it to build your own unique soul message. So let's move to number 2, the valley technique. And just like this name states, it's a valley. So a valley has 2 high points and 1 low point. The challenge is most of the times people just want to move from the first high point to the second high point because they are scared of the deep. You see, the deep is where you reveal your humanity. Now, the first point of the valley is your biggest achievement, who you are now. So from your biggest achievement, you go down to the deep, your low point, who you were before. And then you now bring your victory, which ushers in to your message, your point, whatever you're trying to offer the people that are listening. But this is the sequence. The challenge is most people don't want to go to their past, right? It might be a past that they don't enjoy, so they shy away from their low point. But the beauty of your unique soul message is your low point. It is where you show your humanity. People get to feel that, oh, truly, this person was once like us. And that is where they get to resolve within them that if it's possible for you to get to this level after going through that pain, then it's also possible for me to get through the same point that I'm currently in. So we're going to break this down so that you get a hang of it. Now, your biggest achievement is the big you, where people may see you before they know your story. So they now know you as Dangote, for example, right? They now know you as Dangote. That's your biggest you. Your lowest point is where people relate with you. So that is where you now tell them that even though I am Dangote today, 25 years ago, I was in debt. You might not know this part. I made the wrong financial decision, and that decision affected every single thing that I was doing. But I found a way around it. It was not an easy route, but it worked because I decided to persist upon a single path, and fast forward, I am here. You see, with that experience, I have been able to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. So you see the sequence. But if he comes and says, I'm Dangote, that I've been able to do this, we're like, please, Oga, can you just shift? Excuse us. But when you go down, that's when you reach out to them to say, hey, we are one, just like you. I know how you feel. Felt the same way. This is what I found out, right? Your victory is how people see that you are someone they want to work with. And the victory is strengthened because of your low points. And your biggest achievement is strengthened because of your low point. So you see, your low point has a crucial part it plays in you sharing your story. It is very reason. Now I know a lot of people, their low point was traumatic. So it's not something that they have healed through it. So they might not be comfortable or confident sharing it, and that is fine. It might take a while for you to just be confident that, okay, this pain that I felt or this experience that I had, even though it traumatized me, there's somebody out there that is also going through that trauma. Because I've been able to come out of this trauma, I can help that person. So it's very, very key. We've shared the first sequence, this is another sequence. And this sequence is also powerful when you position yourself as an authority in the corporate world, or you want to handle a speech, right? This is one angle that you can use to deliver it. The first one can be used in business sales presentation. This can be used in handling, public affairs, corporate matters, official matters, and you get it done. Now, let's add flesh to all of this. The Valley technique. Your biggest achievement. There are two ways you can start your biggest achievement. The first is, what most people know about me is that I am da 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 da, or I am blown away that I've been able to da 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 da. Right? That's how you can start it. So what most people know about me is that I am the chairman, First Bank of Nigeria. So that's what they know about you. So when you mention your name, chairman, First Bank of Nigeria, right? I'm blown away that I've been able to achieve the feat of the chairman, First Bank of Nigeria. That's your biggest achievement. Now you can have like three big achievements. You can still say, what most people don't know about me is that I'm the chairman. What most people, you can say, what most people know about me is that I'm the first bank chairman. Not just that, I am blown away with the fact that I have been able to set up my own foundation, and I have under my belt a Guinness World Record. So those are your big achievements, right? You're ensuring that it is big. The big achievement has to be very big. I know a lot of people, by virtue of how humble they are, they wouldn't want to say, a lot of loud things that they have achieved. But your biggest achievement states that all those things that you have achieved that made impact, you have to echo it. You have to echo it so that when you are going into your deep, people are now able to say, if somebody that has gone this deep in life can achieve this, me too. Okay, so the Valley technique is unique because at some point it's as if you're doing ministry. So you use your story to be a blessing to other individuals. Now, watch this. Your low point, which is the deep, is where people relate with you. So this is how you now anchor it. So I'm going to use just one of your biggest achievements. So I'm blown away that I've been able to achieve 2 Guinness World Record. But what you may not know about me is that 7 years ago, I was living under the bridge in Kano. I was at the point where I had almost given up on life because I had tried 8 different businesses and all of them were consistent failures upon failures. It took me a while to get to understand that every failure upon the other was me building an experience that I would need for me to get to this point I am as at today. But imagine I had given up at that point. So let's pause there. What I wanted you to understand is how you can link your biggest achievements to what people may not know about you, your low point. Okay, so we're taking it. Remember, the previous experience, it was just like, previous technique was like crescendo, we're just going up. But then with the Valley technique, from up, we're coming down, and then we're going up. Your low point is where you bring in the details, is where you bring in the emotions. What happened? Let people know. And then you don't get too deep so that it's difficult for you to come out, because the next is your victory. So with your victory, you're not looking at it and say, and because of that experience, I am committed to. And because of that lesson, I am committed to dash, dash, dash. This is just how it is. This is the Valley technique. So perhaps you've been saying, I don't know how to start. I don't know how to share my story. This thing looks difficult. You see people do it and you're like, God help me. God when, God when. I understand. It's not that it is difficult. It's just that you lack the knowledge on how to get it done. And because the knowledge is now here with the framework, anybody can do it. And then tomorrow somebody hears you speak, and like, oh wow, this person has it all figured out. No, it happened by virtue of access to knowledge, which started by awareness, practice, consistency, implementation. Boom, here we are. So let's piece all of this together. It might look strange the first time, and it is fine. But take a screenshot, write it down, and then you begin to flesh it up together. What most people know about me is that I am good with speaking. But what you may not know about me is the fact that at a tender age, I was a hardcore introvert. It got to a point I was mute in class and they thought I was deaf and dumb because I was scared at people's response when I opened my mouth to speak. And I would keep quiet, just reserve myself. Even though there were moments when I knew the answer to questions that were being asked in class, I would shy away from it because I was scared of my own voice. And that happened for years upon years. To even make it worse, when I got to secondary school, the first time I handled a debate, I was shaking. And I opened my mouth to speak, but nothing came out. It was a traumatic experience. And it kept breaking me day by day. Fortunately for me, I got access to mentorship. And that very mentorship showed me how exactly I can become better, taking me on a step-by-step process in the art of public speaking. I could not believe it. The first time I tried it, people stood up and gave me a clapping ovation. I did not, it was as if I was dreaming. And I started embracing my own voice little by little. And fast forward, I have gotten recognition from several organizations by virtue of me being able to embrace my own voice. And because of that entire experience, today I am committed to helping other persons that are having that same difficulty in public speaking, showing them what to do, when to do it, how to do it, letting them know that their voice is valid. So you see, that is valid technique. And I can tell for a fact that you were actually with me in that debate session that I could not say a word, right? So you want to bring in the details, but then it's a sequence. It's a sequence from up, you come down. So the idea is your biggest achievement. There's a lot that you have done. Let's just say your biggest achievement is like your CV, all those things you've achieved, right? You put it there in your biggest achievement. Your low point is where you now connect with the people and they can feel you, and then you take them out to deliver your point that you want to deliver. So remember, we have two techniques that you can use at any point in time to deliver your point, your message, handle a sale, handle a sermon, and it will make a lot of sense. No longer, let me tell you a story about myself. My name is Mohammed. I'm from Kano. My parents live in Kano. I did this, I did that. No. Your ability to take me or bring me down, take me or bring me down, is what sustains the attention of the listeners and get them hooked, wanting more, wanting more. So this is not something that you just listen to and then you say, okay, I'm done. Let me. These two techniques are techniques that you have to actually sit down and honestly pour yourself out to fill in the blank spaces. Like I said, you can have like three biggest achievements. You don't want it to be so much that people just say, please, this guy is bragging or this girl is bragging. No. So you can say, I am blown away with the fact that I've won 2 Guinness World Record. I'm blown away with the fact that I've been able to build a social media presence, having over 1 million subscribers combined. I am blown away with the fact that I have my own NGO where we impact the girl child. But what you may not know about me is the fact that a few years ago, I was at a point where I almost committed suicide. Why? Because nothing was working. I had applied for over 30 jobs and interview process will go through only for them to tell me I'm not qualified. But I knew within me I was good enough. I started businesses and I was struggling left, right, and center. It was as if a curse was laid on me. At some point in time, I had to kneel down and resurrender my life to Christ again because I did not know what was wrong. You see, in that state of frustration, I got a call. And that very call ignited my soul. That call was from a customer whom I transacted with. And she said, that stuff you sold to me, 20 of my friends actually need it. Is it possible you deliver in the next 5 days? I could not believe it because the transaction I had with that very lady was valued at 100,000 naira. So if I'm to do 20 of it, that is 2 million naira. You see, I almost gave up. I almost gave up. But that call brought me back to life. And that is how my journey started in business. Little by little, it got better and better and better. Because of that experience, I am committed to showing people now that no matter how bad it gets, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Do not give up. Just hang in there in no short time. If you persist on whatever you're doing, you will be rewarded. So, a value technique, right? I can go on and on, bringing different experience and then just sharing it. The idea is to let you know that this thing is not difficult. It's only difficult because it's just your first time being exposed to it. It's like climbing a mountain. You're like, eh? The news I saw, people climbing mountain, they died. Yeah, but when you start climbing mountains, before you know, you stop climbing and you start running to the top. Okay, so I totally understand. But just cut yourself some slacks, get the frameworks together, and begin to practice. Begin to practice. The more you practice, the more better you become. The more better you become, the more results you're able to have. So, a quick assignment to help you hold you accountable. Using any of the techniques, write out your story on paper. Get a plain sheet of paper, any paper at all, and then write out with the framework. It can be background, your pain, your discovery, and then your results. Your background, I am an entrepreneur, da 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 da. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just put in a background. Your pain, what don't you like about that background that you highlighted? Your discovery, what have you found out, or what did you find out? And then your result that you were able to attain by virtue of the discovery. Put everything down, write it down. You can maybe record it, and after recording it, you listen to it and then you write it down. That's totally fine. If you decide to use the valley technique, what is your big you? What are the things that you have achieved over time? It might be that you are a mom, right? Being a mother is an achievement. It might be that you started a business achievement. You got a job and you've been working for over 25 years. That's an achievement. So you put all of that together and then you go down to your deep, right? On your deep, that's your low point, you now factor in what people may not know about you. So your pain point, who were you before, the challenges you had, how you were able to overcome it, every single thing, put it into details, infuse the emotions, and then your victory. All right. So you write everything down on paper, and once you're done, you can transfer it. If you want to do an extra, you can transfer it to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will piece everything together on your behalf, and then you can record a short video of you sharing your story. And the joy of it is that the person that started this process will not be the person that will be speaking in the next few days, few weeks, few months. So I am super excited on your behalf for deciding to go through this very process. The truth of the matter is not all stories are ready to be told because most people are here to heal emotionally from their past, and that's fine. And that's fine. But what I need to understand is that somebody is counting on you to heal fast so that they get to learn from you, or they get to also use your story, your emotional soul message to heal as well. So while you're drawing your healing from others, others need to draw their own healing from you. So please help them. Help them. You see, having to share your unique soul message is you deciding to just be naked in the entire process. You're just saying, okay, I have nothing to hide. This is all me. And there's somebody that can connect as a mother, connect as a daughter, connect as a father, connect as a friend, connect as a business person, connect as somebody that is sick, connect as somebody that is having that experience, and they're unable to share with somebody else. But because they now have discovered somebody that is confident with that thing that they are scared of, immediately that connection is formed and they can trust you. So some people speak and they share their story. You're like, ah, this person is a very sincere person. It's because you're able to connect. It's the only thing this person says is true because you were able to connect. There is something you discovered in their nakedness that synchronized with your own nakedness. And you're like, ah, this is my person. That is the essence. So if you've gotten value thus far going through this entire experience, just do well to implement it. I don't need to type in value because my mission is to ignite within the heart of individuals the desire to be more, do more, and have more. So the goal is that you become more by virtue of implementing this. So you become more as a father, a communicator, a mother, a business person, a career person. That is my ultimate goal. So I'm going to see you some other time, but more importantly, ensure that you go through this information again and you do the assignment. God bless you.